Guys, welcome back. So today I want to introduce to CSS programming language. So let's start, guys. So just open your test insta, then you go to your body part. So you're looking at CSS programming language. So you insert a comment. That's how you insert a comment in CSS programming language. Then for the first thing, we'll look at what is CSS. We'll look at what is CSS. What is CSS? It is referred to cascading style sheet is used to apply formatting in any HTML document, or it's just used to make a web page look more attractive, more nice. So it's very important to learn CSS programming language. So for the first thing, you look at the advantages, and one we look at saves time. So it saves time you use in applying any formatting in any HTML document, so you save time. So it is also multiple compatibility. It is multiple compatibility with many devices. Multiple device compatibility. Okay, we have device compatibility, so it's compatible with many devices. So the other one is to maintain. So you have when using is to maintain. So you can maintain your HTML document very nice, so using what you call now CSS. Now the other thing that we'll be looking at is what you call style rule used in CSS. Style rule. Okay, style rule. So style rule, for the first thing we'll look at what we may call it a, then we may have what you call selector. We may look at something else we call property. I will be explaining to all this. Then we'll be looking at something else we call value. So we'll be looking at first what is a selector. So let's look at what is a selector. This is a selector. So let's have an example of how CSS is used. Let's have an example of how CSS is used. Let's say want to program, let's say heading. Then we may have heading 1. Then you may say that this is my heading. This is my heading. Now after that, you may just go to your browser, then you just okay, let's just go here. Then you have PHP for beginners. So okay, we just open our browser there. Then you see what is now going on. You see now you have this one is this is my heading now. This is my heading now. This is my heading. Okay, just continue writing our project now. May have it start. So want now to look protocol. Now we want to apply the, then you just go to your, just go here after your title, here you just go here up to your title. Now it's where you'll apply style. So you may say, let's say heading 1, may have it as color, then we have it as green. Let's see that. So this is what you call the selector. This is a selector now. This is a property and this is a value. So you have the selector where you want to apply those changes. Then we have the property. This is a property now, the color. Then you may have the value, which is gray. We may have something else like font size. Then you may say like 25px, something like that. So this is a selector, this is a property, and this is a value now. So you just go to your browser, you can refresh it and see. So this is what you're talking about. So this is my heading. This is what we call now how you apply it. So you can see the color changed from green, and also the size is also reduced. So we have seen the three rules: style rule, which is selector, property, and value. So the other thing we'll be looking at is something we call how to apply selectors. So we may have here, may continue and say how to apply selectors. So we may have like, for the first thing, you may apply it to class. Whereby you write something like, let's say you have a class, you may say black. When you want black, then you continue writing. You may insert the color, you may insert the font size, you may insert the text transform, text shadow, and all those. So you may insert anything. So the other thing we'll be looking at is ID selectors. We'll be looking at something else we call ID selectors. Whereby we'll write this. We'll write hash. Let's say you have hash. Then you'll have, let's say you have a ID selector black. Then you'll say something like that. You may insert the color. You may insert the font size. You may insert anything, and to apply changes to that. Then the other thing we'll be looking at is something we call child selectors. Let's say you are in a body part, then you want to apply to the paragraph only. You may insert the text color for the family, text shadow. You may have text shadow, let's say 4px, 7px, black, something like that. Then you may have the other thing, we may have for the family, anything you apply changes to the paragraph, so it will be only specific to the paragraph. So the other thing we'll be looking at is something we call attribute selectors. We may have attribute selectors. So attribute selectors, so you may have something like input. Let's say you have a form or anything about that, then you want to make changes to that, you may have, then you may say, let's say type equals to the test. So the test inside that input type. So you may have, now you may apply changes, any transform color, any color, you make any changes. Then when you want to make, so you can apply as many multiple rules. So now we are talking about we may apply as many multiple rules as you wish. Let's say you may group also the selectors, you may group also the selectors. Let's say you may have heading 1, you may say comma, heading 2, comma, then heading 3, then you put into bracket. So the changes will be applied the same to the heading 1, heading 2, and heading 3. So that's how you make changes to the selectors and roles. So the next part we'll be looking at is how to insert. Let's wrap all this up to this point. So what we'll be looking at is how to insert CSS into a PHP file. For the first thing, we have looked at one of them, which is we have looked at what we call embedded. We have looked at what we call embedded, is where you insert a style tag in between the head tags after the title. So you may insert the style tags there, then you make changes to your HTML document. The other thing we'll have, so that is called how to apply. For the first time, we have embedded CSS. So that's what we have looked at. The other one we call inline CSS, how to insert inline. So the inline is inserted as, let's say we have heading 1, you may have heading 1, then you may say style equals to, then you may say color green, then you may say may alpha. So this is what we call now, this is what now we call inline. So you just, then you may say this is my heading, this is my heading. So this color will be changed to green and all this. You may insert the, so you have the color. You may, if you want to make any other change, you may say like test shadow. You may have test shadow. You may have test shadow. You may have something else like anything you want to change. For the family, you may have for the family. You may have test transform. And all those. So that is what we call now inline CSS, whereby insert the line. The other one, there are four types. So the other one we'll be looking at external CSS, how to insert an external. So you just go to your head tags, in between your head tags, then you'll insert something we call link type. Then you may say link type equals to, this is test stroke CSS. Then you may have href. Then you may say my style dot css. Then you say media. You may say media all. So that's how you insert an external CSS. You will create another file, then you'll create a new file, then you insert this one, then that file you'll save it as my style.css. Any name you can apply. So this is a file name of the where you'll be applying yours. So let's say I have an example. So if this is the heading 1, so we want to make changes, you may say let's create a new file, create a new file, create a new file, then you may save it as my style.css, my style.css. Then now you can start now applying your changes. Now you may say, let's say for instance heading 1, just write heading 1, then you may say the color, to be, let's say green, green. You may have that color as green, or you may have it as, yeah. So then you just go to your browser, then you refresh. Now this is my heading, now this is my heading, you see. Now you have to apply css. So this is my style.css. So see, now you may apply the changes to the anything that you want. So that's how guys, you make, you apply the changes to any css. So that's how you insert css into your HTML. The other one is imported, whereby you import it from another file. So then now let's look at some of an examples of, because now we want to look at measurement units used in PHP. So we have percent, we have centimeters is used for measuring the length. Percent is also used for measuring the font size, for measuring the text spacing, for measuring the text size, and all those. You may also, centimeters is for measuring the length and all those. We have in, we have PC. Those are, I already showed up for measuring the text size and all those. We have EM, so this one is total. We have EX, we have millimeters, we have PP points, whereby we use for measuring text size and all those. PX is also used for measuring the height, the width, the text size, and all those. So those are some of the measurements that are used in CSS. Then we'll be looking at something else we call colors. We may have colors. So colors, as you know, there are many colors. Let's have an example of one. We have 00. This is black. We may have the next one. This is red. We may have something else. This is green. And all those, this is green, and all those are various types of colors. We'll be looking at, I'll be sharing our website where you can learn all those colors, different types of colors, or you can just type the name, then it just come. Then we'll be looking at something else we call background, CSS background. Now here we'll insert the background color, we'll insert the background image, we'll insert the, so for the first thing, how to insert a background image, background image is inserted by typing the URL. Then you'll be open the, let's say flow.jpg, so that's how you insert a background image. You may make any other changing, you may apply formatting to the background image. You may set the position, you may set the width and the height and all those. So for the first thing and very important thing, they should be in one folder with your HTML file. They should be in one folder with your HTML file. So the other thing is you can set the background color. You'll just type the background color. Then you may have, let's say green and all those. You can set any gray, you can set any color. So the other thing we'll be looking at is Ford. We have Ford family, we have Ford variant, we have Ford family. Now we have Ford family, we have something else like Aereo, we have something else Fedana, we have something else like Sunroof, and all those. We have Ford size you may insert 17 PC or 17 px. You can insert 17%. You can insert 100%, 200%, all those. The other thing, you may insert the Ford weight. You have how the strength or the strength of the characters. We have the strength of the characters. Now we may have bold. We may have it as bold. We may have bold. We may have it light. It may be light, and all those. That what we call Ford weight. And all those, to apply those, you may say Ford weight. Then you may say bold. And I'll put the semicolon there. So that's how you apply the CSS font. So the other one is how to apply the CSS test. You may arrange your test how it should be. You may have the test transform. Test transform. Test transform is used. Let's say you may have capitalize. You may have it as capitalize. You may have it as uppercase and lowercase. So they hold the test transform is whereby all the tests that we've indicated to have the test transform of capitalized. Each word will be capitalized. When you say all to be in uppercase, all the cases and all the words will be in uppercase. So we have also in lowercase, so whereby you can use it in lower cases. So when you say test transform to be lower cases, so it will be all the characters will be in lower cases. That's how you apply the test transform. You may have test alignment, whereby you align your test, test alignment. You may have it as at center, you may have it at right. So when you say at center, all your tests will be aligned at center. We'll say at the right, all your tests will be arranged at your right. We may have it as a center. And the other thing, you have test decoration. When you say testing decoration, may have decoration. So this is what you may have it as underline. So when you say test decoration underline, all your tests will be underlined. You may have it as line through, all your tests will have a straight through line. When you say that you test to have a blink, so that's how. Let's continue, guys. We have test shadow. I have shown you how to apply a test shadow. Whereby test shadow is something your test will be having a shadow of a certain character. So to apply a test shadow, you just say, let's say for instance, 4px, 6px, then you say, let's say red, and so all you just will be having a shadow of red color, and that's how you insert that. We have the other thing is inserting the test intent. This is a distance from the margin. This is a distance from the margin that you want your characters to be appearing. So you may say set it at 1 centimeter, 2 centimeters. So that's how you apply test intent. Test intent. You may have it as 1 centimeter away from the margin. That's all. Now, thank you guys for watching my episode. The next part will be continuing the CSS. We'll be looking at something else we call how to animate animation of object. Then you'll be looking at CSS length and how those will do other things on CSS. So you may practice on the things that I've taught you, then like and comment on my video. Don't forget guys to subscribe, like and share with your friends. Wish you well in your programming journey.